No picture. So the cameras mustn't be hooking up to the internet. But working there.
Well, you know what? I'm just telling you what it is. I'm not lying.
No, it did. I don't know why it did, but I'm going to see if I can record it. I don't know if I can or not. Let's see. It says it's recording.
Okay.
Why Bill went down.
All right. Well, I'll just go in and get you going. I won't mention anything like internet yet.
Yeah.
Until like.
So you're going to have to turn the volume down on the TV in the room. And then I'll turn it up here, the microphone.
Got one ready?
Testing 1, 2. Testing. If I could have your attention for just a moment, please. Hello, everyone. On behalf of the family, I'd like to thank you all for coming and sharing and showing your support. At this point in time, we're going to be having some words of remembrance. And after the family members have spoken, it's an old term, open mic. But if there's anyone that wishes to come up and say a few words, you're more than welcome to do so. I also want to remind you at the end of the words of remembrance, we still have lots of food available, so please help yourself. And once again, thank you for all of you for being here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for coming. I guess those that don't know me, I'm Steve. I was Barb's partner for 23 years. Barb and I met on a very cold February evening here in Carlton Place at the Tim Horton, have coffee and get to know each other a bit. It was so cold inside, the only people inside were 2 OPP officers on duty. One of them I knew. because I was a police officer. We stayed for a little bit, and I said, "This is too cold. Let's go over to my trailer." I said, "I have a gas fireplace, and we can sit and talk." And I said, "I'll be a pure gentleman. Trust me." She did trust me. I was a gentleman. Anyway, we went there and we talked and we laughed and giggled. I played some music. The phone rang. Barb said, "Oh no, I forgot to call my sister back." Well, her sister says, "Where are you? Why haven't you called me?" Well, she says, "I'm over at his place." She says, "What? What are you doing there? Are you crazy?" And she said, "No, everything's fine. We're just talking and dancing." And he played the guitar for me. I said, "Oh." So anyway, that was it. And shortly thereafter, not because of her call, but she left because she had to get back. She had 2 black labs that had to be brought back into the house in the garage because it was 40 below. Anyway, we said we'll join up again, and maybe I'll come your way, which I did just after Valentine's Day, and I took her out for dinner in Perth. Another cold night, but anyway, we came back. I stayed the night, but in a separate room because it was snowing and blowing. I could hardly see. So anyway, one thing led to another. We eventually came together. I sold the mobile and moved in with her 2 dogs, a cat, and a horse. So you know where I was on the scale of that, eh? Probably down low. Anyway, things went fine. We had a great life together. We had hardships like most married couples do. We didn't marry, we stayed common law. However, one night in 2006, we were at this fancy restaurant, and she decided we're going to get married, just not legally. So we had the waitress be the witness, and we married ourselves. Everything went fine. I paid the bill. Anyway, she was a real darling, and we had a great life. We sold our house back in 2004, and we moved out here and rented a townhouse. We couldn't get a bungalow. We just don't have them. So we lived there for a while, but the landlord decided to sell. So we moved again to another, couldn't get a bungalow townhouse, which is just up the road here, and it's near the lake, the Mississippi River. And she would go every day when possible and walk down along the park and up into Carlton Place and back. And she loved it so much here. And especially in the summer, she'd go down and watch the ducks in the water. I told her, stay away from the geese if there's a gander. He's not friendly. And she did that. Anyway, she just loved it. This was paradise. She said she'd get up in the morning and she'd look out the window upstairs. And I said, what are you looking at? Just the day. And she'd come downstairs, so I'm looking at the rest of the day. Did this every morning, no matter what, rain, snow, sleet, hail, whatever, she'd come down and do that. So we had a great life. And when she passed, it was so fast, you just can't, I can't explain, words can't say it all. The family was I've told the family how it happened and how it happened. She passed from a brain aneurysm, and from the minute she got up till the ambulance came, till we got her in the hospital, 3/4 of an hour and she was dead. Anyway, I sadly miss her. The thing that she did have, and everybody here can maybe think about this, she had a pile of angels and figurines and everything, and other ones that stuck on the wall, everywhere. She just loved angels. So I'm hoping that she's up there with the angels and she's looking down at us. God love her. I'll always love her till I die. May she rest in peace. Thank you.
Spence, come on up. Before I start, I want to thank you all for coming today. Is it okay? Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sorry. Before I start, I want to thank you all for coming today. My mom would have been truly humbled and awestruck that so many people have come down to celebrate her and her life. When I first thought about this reflection on my mother, I didn't think I would be able to put my feelings into words or say them out loud to all of you. But I'm going to try. So many memories have been coming back to me. Those from when I was a little girl in our small apartment. After she and my dad divorced when I was 5, it was just my mom and I for several years. And I remember so many little random things. Every morning she would prepare my breakfast, my favorite cereal, Frankenberry, Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch, or should I say her favorite cereals. She had a little kids table she set up just for me. If I had a cold, she'd mix a big, huge spoonful of Buckley's with warm water and make me drink the whole damn cup. It tasted horrible, but I think it worked. She gave me a tiny suitcase full of Barbie clothes to dress my dolls with and a record player with all kinds of 45s, including Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street singing Rubber Ducky. I had a set of favorite puzzles too, and I'd play for hours on the floor in our living room with her close by. We'd watch her favorite shows like Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, Bewitched, and of course, all the Elvis movies, whom she loved and made me love him too. Just the two of us for several years, sharing a quiet life together. On many weekends, she'd pull me away from my Saturday morning cartoons to go visit my grandparents, and I'd get so upset with her because they didn't have cable over there. I think she just wanted to go home and see her own parents for comfort in those difficult years. First to her childhood home in Hawkesbury, and then later when they moved to Brossard. So many memories flashed through my mind, too many to tell here, but looking back now, I cherish those times with her. One of Mom's favorite snacks when I was young was smoked oysters with seafood sauce on crackers, and I developed a taste for them right along with her. When my kids were young, I would sometimes have the same snack. They would be disgusted by the look and smell of them, but curious enough to try it, and eventually they liked it too. So now every once in a while, we still eat those oysters the same way, and every time we do from now on, we'll think of her and smile. My mom often saw the world through either complete wonder or total catastrophe. There was no in between. Once, many years ago, when the kids were little and she was visiting us at our hobby farm, a big black storm cloud rolled in. Her eyes grew huge, and the kids watching her followed right along, getting completely freaked out as she exclaimed, "I've never seen anything so scary in all my life." After it passed, Savannah said, "Oh, Nana, she's just a little cuckoo." We told that story and laughed about it for many years. In the last few years, Mom would come up and spend a few days with me every couple of months. We'd fall into our little routine together, which always included Starbucks treats and, of course, happy hour glasses of wine while prepping dinner together. Afterwards, we'd settled in to watch something, but it always had to be a simple, feel-good, Hallmark-style show or movie. Whenever she saw the kids, she'd fawn all over them. When Spencer would come over, usually after work on a Saturday, he and Nana would have long, involved talks about so many things. Last summer, Savannah, Mom, and I went to Kingston to choose infinity bracelets together. And on our way home, we stopped in Gananoque, and Savannah found a Manor-style restaurant, and we enjoyed a lovely dinner up at the bar since they were a full house. We shared such a beautiful day that day, and I will hold on to that memory forever. Over the last couple of weeks, thinking about my mom every moment, so many thoughts and feelings have surfaced. Going through her belongings has allowed me to understand her in an entirely new light. She wrote everything, and I mean everything, down, from financial notes and records to a full gamut of personal reflections. As I've gone through these many notes, I've come to understand just how deeply she felt things. Her detailed, meticulous handwriting revealed so many profound thoughts she had been quietly carrying inside. She was sentimental in every way, saving cards, photos, letters, keepsakes, and writing a multitude of personal notes on and about each for me to find upon her death. Literally, this is for Darlene to read upon my death. She was incredibly detailed and so very intentional in what she wanted me to see and read about her life story. Now I see it all as a gift she left behind, especially for me and then for everyone she loved. I used to think her world was so small, too small. Now I realize she lived such a huge world inside that little one, and she felt everything keenly. My mom was a gentle, soft-hearted, and sensitive soul, and she lived simply. She saw the world through unique eyes of wonder, truly wearing her heart on her sleeve. She found joy in everyday small moments, and she was consistently kind and always loved to engage with others. One of the most touching things I've learned while settling her estate was how she became friends with people she had only ever spoken to on the phone, those who helped her with financial matters. Every one of them told me what a warm and special person my mom was and how she had made a lasting impression on them. She shared everything, even the tiniest details with people because her heart was always so open. She passed away the day before she was supposed to come up for one of her weekends with us. Steve told me she had been flitting around the house so excited to be coming for one of her Mom Nana visits. I know more than anything, she just loved being with and around us. I never could have imagined we'd lose her this way so suddenly. I am heartbroken, and I wish we had so many more years together. Throughout her life, I also know my mom worried so much over both little and big things. And if she were still here, I would tell her, "You can rest now, Mama. You don't have to worry anymore." Thank you for the life you gave me and the deep love you shared with all of us. We will miss you so very much, but we'll carry your loving memory with us always. That's it.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ronnie, Barbara's oldest brother. Testing 1, 2. Testing. No, still an old musician lying inside here somewhere. My sister Barbara was born in Belleville, Ontario, near Trenton, Ontario, on August the 22nd, 1946. Her birth was just after the Second World War to our parents, Homer and Ruth Breaux. At that time, our dad was in the Royal Canadian Air Force, stationed at the Trenton Air Force Base. Shortly afterwards, my parents moved back to my mom's hometown of Hawkesbury, Ontario. Barbara grew up and went to school there. We were a little over a year apart in age, so we grew up and did a lot of things together. One funny little story comes to mind. In the winter, we used to go ice skating a lot at a local skating rink. Many years later in her adult life, a friend said she had a crush on me back then. She would always see me with this beautiful girl at the rink and thought I already had a girlfriend. Little did she know that my skating partner was no other than my sister, Barbara. Oh, yeah. Over the years, she has resided in Ottawa, Montreal, Perth, and finally here in Carleton Place. She loved music, and I can remember even in her younger years, she would come out to listen to my band when we were playing in the local hotels, and as well as practice sessions at home. I remember when Barb was in high school, she loved listening to the hit parade on radio station CFRA, Ottawa, with me on an old tube radio that my dad had bought for us. We would dance and bop to the music in our living room in our home on McGill Street in Hawkesbury. She was a gentle, caring, kind, thoughtful, and giving soul right to the very end. Her generosity as an organ donor has given one or more people the ultimate gift of a better quality of life. It doesn't matter what age you are, this is something that perhaps we could all think about, the importance of organ donation. She had a great love and passion for animals and the great outdoors. Over her lifetime, she owned several cats, dogs, and even a horse. My brother Jeff mentioned that one of her favorite things to do, which often brought her solace, was to look up to the sky on a clear evening when the stars shone brightly and the moon was at its fullest. There she would make a wish upon the stars. She was also a very sentimental person who had an attachment to and kept many things, like the teddy bears our dad made for both of us when we were kids. She kept hers and mine all these years and has requested hers be buried with her when she passes. We will definitely carry out those wishes, dear sister. My brother Jeff says he gave her a bottle of perfume called Apple Blossom as a gift about 50 years ago. When he was helping Darlene and Steve go through her things, lo and behold, he found this old empty perfume bottle on the back of the counter in her bathroom. She had cherished it all those years. This was our Barbara and her passion for sentimental things. She was a great believer in angels and had quite a figurine collection of them. She even had one tattooed on her ankle. We will see to it, Barbara, that one of those favorite figurines of yours, as requested, will also be buried with you. Rest in peace now with the angels, dear sister. You will never be forgotten. Amen. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, brother.
Hi, thank you all for coming. I'm a bit sentimental like this lady, but okay. Today I want to remember my sister the way I knew her best, with laughter, mischief, and a lot of fun memories from growing up in the 50s and 60s. We didn't grow up with a lot, but we found ways to entertain ourselves. Barbara and I shared a childhood filled with simple pleasures, strong family rules, and just enough misbehavior to keep things interesting. As you know, Barb and I shared I've read that already. One day, Barb had been given a very important dinner chore, mixing the margarine. For anyone too young to remember, margarine came in a bag with a little pack of dye, right? Yeah, inside that, to be squeezed and mixed into this bag. Of course, exactly at that moment, Barb's favorite show, I Love Lucy, came on. She pleaded with our dad to let her do the job while sitting quietly on the living room couch, with me right beside her. Everything was going just fine until the show's music started. Barb got so excited, she swung the margarine bag and hit me right over the head. Margarine went everywhere, all over me, all over the couch. Poor Dad was not impressed. There was no margarine for dinner that night. And we were never allowed again to have margarine anywhere near the living room. Another favorite pastime was dressing up our baby brother, who's not so baby anymore. But anyway, to us, he was a live doll. We used Mom's pop bead jewelry to make necklaces, bracelets for both wrists, and anklets for both legs. There's a picture of him up there. He's just a baby, like 6 months maybe. It was so much fun. We decorated him with just about anything we could find in the house. Then we placed him carefully in a basket, cover him up, proudly call Mom to see our masterpiece. And there he was. He got his back. Well, there were no phones or online games back then. We made our own. Our parents also took us camping often. And one memorable trip was to Algonquin Park, where the family found a nice campsite. I was about 17 and I was around 11. There was a little campground store that we could drive to. And even more exciting, there was a ranger station with a lot of young boys. Barb would very often eagerly volunteer to drive to the store so Dad could relax at the campsite. And of course, I went with her. Well, some of those trips took a very long time to go to the store. Seeing the good-looking rangers chatting might have had something to do with our lateness. When we finally returned to the campsite, the questions came. Where were you? What took you so long? And Barb would calmly say, geez, Dad, there was a long lineup at the cash at the store. And I was sworn to secrecy. Our dad could at times be fairly strict, and I was always part of the plan to try to maneuver him with Barb. One day, while our parents were away, we decided it was a great idea to have some boys over. Everything was going just fine, lots of great records playing, until Mom and Dad drove in the backyard. And of course, all these boys were still in the house. Were you there too, now? We opened the front door and those boys flew off the front veranda straight into Dad, who was standing there watching the whole incident unfold. Our poor Dad, once again. We were grounded for a while after that little adventure, let me tell you. It was not good after that. These are just a few of the many memories I hold close to my heart. Barb brought laughter, boldness, and sparkle into my life, and I'll always carry these moments and so many more with me forever. Thank you, Barb, for all the joy and fun growing up. And if there's that type of margarine up there, I hope you're not mixing it, sitting there on the couch. Thank you.
Okay, number 203, eh? Well, hi everyone again. I'm Jeff, Barbara's younger brother. My big sister Barbara and I always had a very unique relationship as siblings. Very close and always supporting of each other throughout all the ups and downs that life dealt to us. She always took interest within my 45 plus year career, in customer service. At the point after retiring from Marconi, Canada, she asked me at the time as a service department manager to be recruited and actually work with me at a regional distributorship in the West Island of Montreal for over a year in the early 1990s. Afterwards, she landed another customer service job at a fireplace installation boutique for several years before finally
retiring from Quebec, moving to Perth, Ontario to be near my other sister Lori and my mother still at that time. More years rolled by until COVID hit society. Boy, did we ever talk a lot on the phone that year. COVID changed job descriptions for many, and me 14 months working customers on the phone instead of on the road. But after the deconfinement in 2021, I began booking my own appointments instead of the National Data Center, a new program. Right away, Barb asked if it would be possible to email her a copy of my daily calls. I was already forwarding to the company and eventually my daily report statistics as well. Excuse me 1 second, folks, okay? Yes, this as well. The next thing I knew, I ended up with a new satellite sister following me around on Google Map for many years to come. Every morning, like clockwork, she would be texting me. Morning, Jeff. Checked all your calls last night. Checked all your calls last night for today. Great booking. First call coming up at 9:30. Nice looking house with big bay windows and blue trim. No surprise that for me. I'd known the house description before arriving at the customers. She would then on every appointment be always wishing on a special angel of hers that I'd have extra luck with each and every call. Always asking which motel I'd be staying at so she could Google it as well. And last of all, she always asked me to look up at the moon at night. So we'd be looking at the same spot in the sky no matter where it was. Yep, she followed me everywhere. Abitibi, Saguenay-Lac-Saint-Jean, the Côte-Nord, the Gaspé, Greater Montreal, Quebec City, US border, you name it. Even though she moved back to Ontario, I'm sure her geography knowledge of Quebec was far superior than her home province. I know she'll be following me in a different way now. No more backseat driving for my satellite sister, but now my front seat passenger, my moon sister in spirit and in my heart still forever. Thank you.
Well, I think so. I think you'll come. I don't know if there's anybody else that wants to speak. If there's anybody that would like to say something, you're certainly welcome to come out.
Just on behalf of Darlene and Steve, they just want to thank everybody for attending today. I think by the turnout and by the outpouring of kind messages and phone calls and gestures, it's definitely a showing of how Barb was cared for by so many people and loved. We would like to thank the staff of the funeral home for such a great venue and for putting on a wonderful lunch. So thank you for staff. And also to John and Lori for putting together the collage of pictures and Barb's 4 favorite songs that played throughout today. Great job, John and Lori, beautiful.
And my Uncle Jeff for coming down twice with that van and helping Steve and I, Lori, sort through a whole bunch of stuff and he's taking it off to better places. Thank you, Jeff.
I just want to add one thing to what Ron had mentioned. Barb was an organ donor. Because of her age, she was only able to donate her eyes. And I know there could be one person or 2 people out there that are experiencing vision perhaps for the first time, or if they lost their vision, have a new appreciation for having their sight back. And I just want to add that they're very fortunate people that they see the world the same way that Barb saw it. I think they should count themselves twice blessed on that. So.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. As I said, my mom would have been so humbled and just awestruck to see all these people here coming to support us and to honor her and to celebrate her, because that's what she wanted, was a celebration of love. So the tears have to turn into happy smiles and warm wishes and memories. And please, if there's any more food left, have at them. We don't want to take any of it with us.
Good job. I don't know what it is. So it wasn't one of the big prizes, but they had like little door prizes too. So they said it's a $50 gift certificate. She took whoever, I don't know who she is. I don't know. Yeah, they do your Oh, that is all broken. Yeah. She did amazing. She did great. Consider what she thought. So thanks for coming, guys. Yeah. So you guys can hang around. That's why all pictures are just damn right. She did good, okay. You know what it is? You would have read countless notes that you should go for a walk and like write about like what this meant to watch a sunset. Like in detail, like make notations or if I get a question, make notations. Take care. They don't go for a walk and look at a tree that leaves blowing. No. And we go, oh, it's
One better there than mine.
Maybe.
Found your coat all right?
I did.
Good.
saw everything. I never see that.
Yeah. Somebody wanted a better pair.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take some on the slower part and the other one's still. Yeah.
I will, like some people. Thank you.
Oh, and here's the mushroom juice.
So she wanted me to take the angel I made her do. I said, no.
Sure, I get the right coat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. You know, you get a nicer one for the road over there. $50 bill. There you go.
I don't know, I have one. Sure, Mike will get one.
It's really nice to meet you. Yeah, drive safe. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
All right, you take care, right?
Oh, thank you very much for having me. That's a long ride.
Hey, Captain. There's fairly good. Yes. Not you. Sorry. You never care.
You lived, wait, hold on. I'm getting my family picture.
You good?
Sorry. I smacked on Nicholas. Twice. Twice. 2 cities. Oh, nice. Smooth. Smooth. 3. No? Oh, it's that one right there that you're touching.
Our coach, somebody else took your coat. Somebody took your coat because they thought it looked like your coat. Did you not keep the number, the ticket number? First thing I did is